Pivot Point. Kaya Biz.
One of my favorite features here on the show Afropolitans as we speak to influential leaders about pivotal moments, pivotal experiences, and pivotal roles that they hope to shape in terms of their own personal careers and in the livelihoods of others. This evening, we speak to the chief executive of Motheo Construction Group. Now, you might be very familiar with the Motheo Construction Group because it is an entity that was founded in partnership with other entrepreneurs by the late Dr. Thandi Ndlovu, who unfortunately lost her life in a car accident last year. But our very own guest who joins us this evening has had the pleasure to serve under her, to work with her, and be mentored by her as she takes on this new role of Chief Executive Officer. Lettie Mashau joins us on the line. Lettie, thank you so much for your time and welcome to Kaya Biz.
Thank you so much, Gugu. Good evening to the listeners.
I'm really excited to speak to you. I've read a bit about your story, growing up in Limpopo, starting off within quantity surveying, and of course, spending 14 years of your life at Motheo Construction Group. So you're no newbie to this particular environment, right? If anything, you're the perfect candidate to be continuing this legacy that has been established by the late Dr. Ndlovu.
Yes.
Oh, don't be so humble. Don't be so humble. We're here to celebrate you and pivotal stories and lessons about you. But as I mentioned, you grew up in Limpopo, and maybe for the benefit of listeners who aren't familiar with you and your story, what made construction the sector that you decided would be the area that you want to grow in your career?
Thank you, Gugu. As you said, I originate from Malamlele. And what made me to consider a career within the construction industry was really the fact that it was male-dominated. And, you know, as a young girl growing up, you always ask yourself, what's so difficult about being in this space? And I think that's why when I completed my matric, I was very passionate about finding a career within the construction space. Mm-hmm. So, and taking you through my journey with Motheo Construction Group, when I joined the company in 2005 as a young graduate, I came in really looking for experiential training. And I remember my first day when I came for an interview with the late Dr. T, which ended up being just a conversation about the sector and how she's committed to transform the construction industry. It was a very interesting journey, to be honest with you. I'm 16 years old with Motheo as we speak.
Wow.
And, you know, I started as a trainee and moved through the ranks from being a site to a project manager, to a regional director, and now a CEO of Motheo Construction Group. So, yeah, it's been a very, very interesting journey. And I was mentored by the late Dr. Thandi, mm-hmm. and very strong old white males who have been in this industry for more than 40 years. Mm-hmm. So I must say, Gugu, that I was very, very fortunate to be surrounded by very, very strong supporting structure, because for me, I think that's what is important in order to grow in this space. You know, you need people that will support you, people that will believe in you, and give you the opportunity to make your mistakes and learn from that. Yes. And that's exactly what happened with me.
I want to build up on this in twofold in terms of leadership. Firstly, the sponsorship, mentorship, and support that you receive, not only from the late Dr. T, but also from a segment of the market that we often don't talk about often. White males who have the experience and interacting with them. How has that shaped your thinking and your career, and even an understanding of how when you seek mentorship and support, not to just go for what you, or I guess not sticking to the status quo when you're knitting in terms of interacting with other black females, but also accessing new markets, new people from different varieties, and diversifying the exposure that you have, I guess, in terms of experience?
You know, Gogo, my personal experience really is that I've come to appreciate the experience that comes with the white males within our industry, because these are people that they're currently sitting with more than 40 years of experience. They've been there, they've done that, and you cannot just come in and you expect things to happen overnight. So if I then look at my own personal growth, When I started, I was paired with very strong construction managers and plant surveyors who have been there for the past 40 years. And I think that's what accelerated my personal development, because it's people that were conscious about making sure that they provide the mentorship that is required, and they give the guidance that is required. And sometimes when you listen to people, especially my age group, there's a view that no, we can do it. We don't need that. We don't need. And for me, I think we're losing the plot there, because I, for one, I benefited from that kind of an arrangement. And of course, thanks to the leadership that the late had in Motewa, because she was very passionate, and everybody bought into the legacy that she brought within the group, that we are going to train young black women in this company. So yeah, I think, and that's why I'm saying that that's what makes my journey very interesting, because it's unique.
Yeah, very unique. And I think very briefly, as we are under pressure, unfortunately, in terms of time, but you have been appointed as CEO on the back and during the course of a pandemic. We know that leadership in itself has demanded a lot of us in terms of, you need to self-reflect, you need to be agile and nimble in terms of how you react, and continue to lead people into a direction that's been very confusing over the last few months. But how would you describe your leadership style, and what impact do you hope to leave and continue to make in your journey as CEO?
Good to be honest with you. I was appointed in a very interesting season, and one will say, Lettie, how are you coping? Yes. And of course, it's not easy. But I've taken a position that, in the midst of a storm, for me, that's where creativity is born. And where I am, I'm saying to myself, I know what we've been doing in the past 16 years that I've been with Motewa. I know what has worked. I've reflected. I've used 2020 to pause and reflect, and it really goes through what worked and what didn't work. And again, you need to be aligned to understand where the government is going, because you cannot just sit back and hope to still continue doing things the old ways. So it's important to position yourself, to understand where the country is going, and make sure that you keep encouraging your employees, because yes, there's so much negative energy going around, and as you maintain that positive energy, it's important that you share that with everyone that's around you, yes, because you're as strong as the people that support you. So I think for me, I'm looking for opportunities in the midst of this storm, and I trust that there's a lot that we can really find in this business, especially in the construction space.
Looking for opportunities in the midst of a storm. Lettie, thank you so much for your time this evening. We really value your contribution to the conversation. That is Lettie Mashau. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Motewa.